Welcome to Hawg Huddle, your weekly opinion-based podcast dedicated to all things Razorbacks. From the highs and lows on the field and court to the biggest stories off of it, we've got you covered. Got a question or topic you want us to tackle? Email us or tweet us your thoughts, and we'll bring them into the huddle. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the latest. This is Hawg Huddle. What's up, everybody? Another episode of Hawg Huddle. Sad news Thursday night as basketball season ended, but the Diamond Sports made up for it with sweeps this weekend. And now that basketball season's over, it's time for portal season. So, hope everybody's having a good week so far. Let's jump right into softball. We'll start off with Kentucky coming to Bogle Park Friday night. Ladies get it done with a 5-3 win. Saturday, 10-2 in 5 innings. Nice little run rule victory. And then for the cap of the sweep on Sunday, the girls get it done. It wasn't always pretty, and it wasn't a blowout like the day before. But 2-1 win on Sunday. And Hogs sweep Kentucky. First SEC sweep since last year at Mississippi State. And their first home sweep there at Bogle since 2022. Reagan Johnson, man, if I was half as fast as her, I would not be a meat cutter and doing podcasts. I can tell you that. That girl got wheels and then some. Standout game, 3 hits, 2 stolen bags. Pitching got it done. Kentucky threatened in the top of the 7th. Bases loaded, but defense gets it done. Hogs win, improved to 26-7 on the season. Gets them back to 500 in SEC play. And they will get ready for a road trip to Gainesville. First pitch Friday, 5 p.m. It's going to be on the Plus. SEC Plus, that is. Game 2, first pitch, Saturday, 4 p.m. That one's going to be on ESPN2. And then they will cap off the series at Florida on Sunday at 1 p.m. Hey, look, no early games this weekend. SEC Network Plus. And then after that, Monday, they're going to stay in Florida, go play North Florida at Jacksonville. And the following week, they'll be back in town for South Carolina. Now, this series with Florida should be a good one. Florida is ranked number 4. They just swept Auburn. They're 33-5 on the season, 6-3 in conference play. So, high-level softball there. I was talking to a customer at work today. He's a big OU fan. We got to talking about how Tennessee got the better of OU in their series this past weekend. But the more we talked how strong the SEC is in softball. And we both agreed that there will probably be at least 4 or 5 SEC teams in Oklahoma City for the college World Series. So that should be good. Before we move on, I want to talk about Bree Ellis as well. Bree Ellis is, I don't know what the Golden Spikes is for softball, but she should be in the running. She has already surpassed her home run and RBI numbers from last season. If she hadn't surpassed them, she's dead even with them. And we've still got several games to go. We're just over halfway through the season. So, Razorback softball, doing big things. Keep it up. And let's hope both Diamond Sports make trips to their respective World Series this year. See if they can't get hot at the right time. And wouldn't that be something? Bring home 2 national titles within a month of each other. Putting a wrap on softball, let's jump over to baseball. The Hogs went down, over, whatever. The Hogs headed to the Hawk in Nashville, Tennessee, and they sank the Commodores. Series sweep at Vandy, first time since 1994 to sweep them at their house. First sweep of Vandy since I believe it was 2005. So 20 years we hadn't swept them. We got them this year. And Vandy was ranked 14 at the time. So this wasn't beating up on a South Carolina or some mid-major in a pre-conference weekend series. This was a big deal. We'll go ahead and start by taking a look at the polls. So in the polls today, Baseball America has the Hogs at number 2. D1 Baseball has them at number 2. College Baseball Writers Association has them at number 2. USA Today Coaches Poll has them at number 2. And Perfect Game is finally showing some good respect. They have them at number 3. I can understand with the horrible midweek loss, which we're not going to talk about very much because it didn't happen now that we've swept Vandy. But that extra inning midweek loss against Missouri State, I'm not going to complain about Perfect Game having them at number 3. You slipped on the banana peel, so to speak. But they take care of business on the road. Another top 15 road conference series win. Start out with Friday night. Going into this game, Vandy was undefeated at home on the season. At the time, they were 20-6 overall, 4-3 in the SEC. And the Hogs got out the belt. 9-0 shutout victory at the Hawk. This was the first shutout win against Vandy since 2005. And first shutout win against them in Nashville since 94. The star of the day, and really the weekend, is Cam Kozel. Transferred from Vandy to Arkansas. And Kozel went 3 for 5 on Friday night with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. For the weekend, he equaled his home run total from last year's entire season with Vandy. And as for RBIs, he single-handedly outscored Vanderbilt in this series. They weren't exactly at the right time, so he didn't single-handedly beat Vandy, but Cam Kozel was ready to show what Vandy lost, and he shoved it down their throat. Then we jump into Saturday. Saturday is a little more exciting. Game goes to extras. Hogs pull it off in 10, winning 6-4. And just solid play. Cam Kozel, 2-run homer. So at this point, he has 7 RBIs, while Vandy has only scored 4 runs. But Hogs were solid defensively. They did have an error in this game, I believe. But the highlight of this game had to be the Vaheva Aloy play. Looking like Derek Jeter out there at short. Goes across his body, snags the ball, jumps and throws with his momentum carrying him towards the third base line, and puts it on the money at first base. That was in the bottom of the 9th. And that's where you kind of felt momentum shift in that game. Also, talk about Gabe Gackle for a second here. Really had a solid outing at 5 2/3, striking out 7, only allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, no walks. If Gabe can perform like this every weekend, especially the way Root performed on Friday, if he keeps that up, Hogs are going to be tough to beat. Now, we do have a very daunting schedule ahead of us. A&M and Florida don't look as threatening as they did preseason, but you still got Tennessee coming to town and Texas coming to town, and you go to Alex Box to play LSU. So let's not get ahead of ourselves on the season just yet. Jumping right into Sunday's game, Hogs improved to 26-3 overall, 8-1 in the SEC. And Charles Davalon and Logan Maxwell had a couple long balls in the top of the 8th to pull away from Vandy and secure a 7-3 win. Battle Cheese, so-so performance. But boy, Ben Bobby, all those years sticking with the Hogs, it paid off for him. Ben Bobby had an outstanding performance on the mound. Comes in, closes the door, gets the W. And on Ben Bobby, this is a guy, he's been pretty much just a midweek starter, come in every now and then. This is his 3rd year with the Hogs. He very easily could have transferred out in the past couple of years, probably went to a number of SEC schools and been a weekend starter. But evidently he loves the Hogs as much as we all do. And glad to see that paying off for him. Now, during this game, we had runners on 2nd and 3rd. I believe it was the 7th inning. Me and my buddy are texting back and forth watching the game. And we missed our shot in the 7th with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Souza had a big double. Souza had a great game Sunday. Had a couple doubles. That bat's slowly heating up. It's starting to smolder. There's smoke. Now we just need it to full on catch fire. But I told my buddy Brandon, I said, man, we missed our shot right there. I don't think we're gonna pull this one off. Took care of business in the bottom of the 7th. Brandon texts me, he says, we're about to get hot right here. And sure as the sky is blue and the grass is green, the Hogs caught fire in the top of the 8th. Like I said, solo blast from Davalon and Maxwell. Just all around good baseball. And when you stop and look at the stats from over the weekend, our best hitters really didn't perform up to standard this weekend. Vaheva, Cahillo, Brent, so-so weekend. But the Caboose gang, as they're calling themselves, the bottom 3 in the lineup, great outing from all of them. Justin Thomas Jr. does leave a little bit to be desired in center field, especially after watching the defensive play of R.J. Austin from Vandy. That kid, if it wasn't for him, it would have been a blowout because he saved a lot of runs with some amazing plays. Solid center fielder. He's in a slump with his bat right now. I think he's still batting over 300, but they're considering it a slump. Batted 330 last year. Fast. Made good contact for the most part. But his defensive prowess is just top-notch compared to what we've seen so far this year. Not taken away from JT, though. JT is a good center fielder. Just, he's a level below R.J. Austin. So next up for the Hogs, Tuesday, 6 p.m., North Little Rock, SEC Network Plus. They'll take on Grambling in the Dickey-Stevens game. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Mizzou Tigers come to town. Friday night, depending on weather, I'll be out in the hog pen. 7 p.m. first pitch. That one's going to be on SEC Network. Saturday, I definitely won't be at that one because I got to be at work at 4 o'clock Sunday morning. 6 p.m. first pitch, SEC Network Plus. And then Sunday, 2 p.m. first pitch, also SEC Network Plus. After that, Arkansas State Red Wolves will come to Baum Walker on Tuesday for a 6 p.m. first pitch, and that one will be on the SEC Network. And I am sitting here looking at the schedule, and I fully expect this to change because the 11th, 12th, and 13th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday series, the Hogs go to a red-hot Georgia team coached by a Van Horn protege. And right now, it's showing SEC Plus on all three of these games. I don't see how there's any way you have these two teams matching up and you don't put it on one of the big networks. Bare minimum, it should be an SEC game. Could be an ESPN game. Not sure how they have all their broadcasts lined up and what their criteria are, but we're talking probably a top 5 matchup. I'm pretty sure Georgia is in the top 5 as well. Top 5 matchup. That's going to get some eyes on it, and that's going to pull some ratings. But with that, let's go ahead and end our happy-go-lucky time, and let's get into the final dance for the Hogs. 16 points, second half lead. And we blew it. Poor shot selection in the last 3 minutes, taking some quick threes with 17, 18 seconds on the shot clock. They left the window just cracked and unlocked, and Texas Tech came roaring through. But then Texas Tech did the same thing against Florida in the Elite Eight. While the game Thursday night stings and it hurts, in January, none of us thought this team was making the tournament. Started off SEC play 0-5. Oh, the Hogs don't belong in the tournament. The Hogs aren't good enough for the tournament. Well, they made it as far as 7 other SEC teams and proved themselves to be one of the 16 best teams in the nation on that final stretch of the season. Kentucky also lost in the Sweet 16, and BYU lost in the Sweet 16. So that little coaching carousel, trade, whatever you want to call it, everybody won. I know Kentucky fans have been real loud all year. And Big Blue Nation, y'all didn't do any better than we did. We both lost in the Sweet 16, but we did come to your house, and we did take out the belt. And pretty sure it will always show in the record books as an L for Kentucky on February 1st, 2025. But as I was doing show prep, get a notification, look at Twitter. Big Z has entered the transfer portal. Kashmir Chavis had also entered. He played in one game. I believe it was Maryland Eastern Shore. The writing's on the wall. Don't know much about Chavis, but with the recruits we have coming in, with what Cal and the rest of his staff are going to target in the portal, I just don't see Chavis getting much playing time at Arkansas. I think he can transfer out, find a home, get some playing time. And who knows, we might look back on this and regret him getting away. But with Cal comes talent. And with talent comes, you got to pick and choose who gets to play and when they play. And it just wasn't there for Kashmir Chavis. Wish him all the best. With Big Z, wish him all the best. When he was hot from three, he'd have the game of his life. But if he wasn't on with his shot, he struggled. He tried to dribble down in the low post. Not a good idea when you're 7'2". Big Z's a little awkward. The footwork wasn't there. He's never going to be that post up, back to the basket, doing the dirty work type of player. He's this new age of player that we're seeing all over college and the NBA. He's a shooter. He wasn't a good fit, in my opinion, there at the end of the season. Again, much love to Big Z. Wish him all the best. Maybe he'll go play with his brother, kind of like the Eloy boys are doing in baseball. Maybe they'll find a landing spot together, get to enjoy that camaraderie, and we'll go from there. Still waiting on announced returns, announced draft. You got to think Boogie Flan's going to the draft. I'm really hoping we get Carter Knox back. I think Carter Knox, Curtis Wilkerson said it best. Dude's in first-team SEC player next year if he continues to improve at the rate that he did throughout this season. As sophomore year will be a big jump from the freshman year. And Carter Knox, he had a couple bad games, but boy, he was something special. Love his energy, his athleticism, his hustle. Really hope to see him back in a Hog uniform next year. Billy Richmond is teased at coming back. Still no official announcement. I'll believe it when it's for real and it's announced by the team, because that kid's got some hustle. He's got a lot of athletic ability, and I know a lot of teams are going to be getting a hold of him, and the right size bag gets offered, he may be gone too. Really would like to see Trevin Brazile come back if he's going to play another year of college ball. He really got going there when Thero got hurt. So just his development, his athleticism. I mean, dude was head and shoulders above everybody going up for rebounds. If you lose him on the defensive end, he's going to backdoor you. They're going to lob it up, and he's going to make a poster out of you. And speaking of Adu Thero, thought for sure this man was gone to the NBA draft. He's about to go get paid. But his draft stock showing mid to late second round, which I'm like, I feel like he's a little bit better player than that. And I heard about it from Curtis Wilkerson watching his pod at the Palace. But someone that he trusts has said that they have presented a new NIL package to Adu Thero, and there is a possibility that number 3 is going to be back next year. And number 3 back and healthy, I can only imagine he's going to put on a little bit more muscle. And if you look at this kid when he was a freshman at Kentucky to now, total body transformation. He got taller. He got bigger. He's a game changer. He is a first-team All-SEC. He'll be preseason first-team All-SEC. I mean, the guy might be an All-American if he builds on this year. And when you stop and think about it, say we get Carter Knox and Billy Richmond back, there is a chance if Thero comes back that Trevin Brazile moves on just for the competition of playing time there. And it wasn't until Thero went out that Brazile was able to really step up and be a game changer for us. But let's say we get Carter Knox back. We get Billy Richmond back. We get a Duke Thero back. Then you look at what we have coming in. We've got the, can't remember his name, but we've got the professional player from overseas that's going to come play. You got Darius Acuff. You got Malik Thomas. You got Isaiah Seeley, who may not even see the court next year with the amount of talent we have. I hope he does because he's explosive. He'll just have to adjust because I don't think the competition he's seeing playing at Springdale is going to be anything like what he's going to see in the SEC. All they need to do now is go get a big man out of the portal. I know they are in contacts with the big man from Illinois, 7-footer, big body guy, back to the basket type player. And then Nick Pringle from South Carolina, one of the shinings, if not the only shining spot on South Carolina's roster, has entered the transfer portal. Another big body, physical guy. I think that was the big piece we were missing this year. We thought we were getting it with Jonas Adu. The injuries held him back. He kind of turned it on there in the SEC tournament and the big dance. But if we can get someone that performs the way we all expected Jonas Adu to perform this year, from start of the season until they cut the nets down wherever the championship is next year, the Hogs are going to be dangerous. And with a coach like Cal, who has all the experience, all the intangibles, and a great support staff around him, next year could be something special. And boy, we're going to need it after football season, I have a feeling. But we're not going to go down that path just yet. We'll talk about that more later on. Not looking forward to football next year. I'm going to sit here and bask in the sunshine of baseball and the potential of basketball next year and go from there. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up for today. Appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. Hope everybody has a good week. Don't forget, softball and baseball, full force. And until next time, as always, woo pig. Let me take this opportunity to say thank you for listening to Hawg Huddle this week. Make sure and subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Tell your friends and follow us on socials. We're on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.